Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be shedding light on why most men do not embrace living the MGTOW life. So why do most men abstain, desist, and refrain from getting married? Why are most men recalcitrant about the prospect of embracing living the MGTOW life? Why do they not entertain the notion of embracing living the MGTOW life? Why are they discontent with doing so? Well, they have an aversion to it for a multitude of reasons, to say the least. From a young age, from a tender age, men have been indoctrinated to believe that the only way they could attain happiness and live blissful, meaningful, fulfilling lives entails getting married. They are eager to create jointure with females for some peculiar reason. Unbeknownst to them, if a relationship goes awry, it can culminate in them making lifetime alimony payments in perpetuity, as well as also paying child support payments if they had offspring with an ex-wife. So most men do not believe that happiness can be internalized. They believe that there's all these exogenous factors that contribute to their happiness and well-being. Contentment can be internalized, and you do not need to have a partner in your life to be able to manifest the utmost best version of yourself into reality. How can you become the quintessential version of yourself? Well, that's a journey that you need to undergo. I recommend reading the Holy Bible. It's inerrant, to say the least. You should establish a relationship with the rightful king of mankind, the Messiah, the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. That's who you should strive to build a robust, strong relationship with, and not with someone who is preordained or inclined to divorce you on a whim for some paltry, venial, trivial, arbitrary, gormless, asinine reason. Most men do not embrace living the MGTOW life because they cannot envision being single in perpetuity. They feel as though they need to be in the company of others. However, being able to maximize your productivity involves not needlessly, imprudently, impetuously squandering your time on frivolities and antics. When you are single, you can focus entirely on pursuing entrepreneurial pursuits during all your spare time. Whereas, if you are a marital man, if you are in a relationship, you're diverting time away from pursuing entrepreneurial pursuits. You're diverting time away from pursuing, working towards reaching your higher aspirations and working towards making inroads towards accomplishing your overarching goals. You also divert time away from learning. You want to be able to expand your repertoire, amplify your knowledge base, and become all the more prodigious. You want to become all the more knowledgeable, competent, and adept over time. You never want to stagnate nor regress. You want to be able to always move your life in a forward moving trajectory and not succumb to stagnation. You do not want your life to slump into the abyss. So, men think that they need a wife to empower them, to incentivize them to work, to provide them with companionship. However, there are other ways to assuage your needs for companionship that do not involve dating anyone, being in a relationship with anyone, or marrying anyone. You can be inducted into salubrious social circles, irrespective of whether or not you date or have a relationship with anyone or are married. Friends can provide you with companionship. Acquaintances can provide you with companionship. Anyone can be gregarious if they so choose to. In terms of being able to live a euphoric life, if you want to be more buoyant, jovial, jubilant, you can find activities that are conducive to optimizing your happiness and your well-being. You do not need to depend on external factors to elicit dopamine rushes for you. You can internalize happiness. It is quite a feat to uphold the responsibilities of a marital man who is diligent, sedulous, hardworking, and beholden to his family. But men need to understand that at any given moment, on a whim, a divorce unfortunately can transpire, and it can exacerbate every facet of the man's life. So it is a major risk if a man undergoes that route, and they may be foregoing enriching other facets of their lives to be able to embrace the marital life. Marital men do not have the best house because their lives are dedicated to perpetually working to support a family. Single men are more apt to have better house, primarily because their lives do not have to be so work-centric, so work-oriented, because they only support themselves and they do not have to provide financial support to an entire family. But most men cannot envision living a single life. They presumably want to experience living the familial life. They presumably want to experience living a life as a marital man. They presumably want to have offspring for some peculiar reason. And they presumably want the companionship of a wife. And they underestimate the profound benefits appertaining to being single. And they also are reluctant and dissuaded to believe that they can achieve the utmost best version of themselves if they were to remain single. They think that self-development and self-growth is primarily fostered from being in relationships, from taking on the responsibilities of a father and of a husband. However, they should understand that it is internalized. If you want to be able to learn and develop, you have to do it internally. Only you can assimilate information. Someone can lecture to you, but if it does not solidify in the bowels of your mind, if it is not instantiated in the chasms of your mind, then it is not converted into knowledge. So you are an autodidact, and only you can teach yourself. In that same vein, only you can self-develop yourself. Other people cannot self-develop you on your behalf. If you want to be able to grow, ascend, and move to the next phase in your life, you need to do it on your own. It is a journey that you need to tread down on your own. And just because you surround yourself with other people does not mean that you will self-develop as you envisioned. If you are distracted by all these exogenous factors, by all these peripheral individuals, then it diverts time away from pursuing entrepreneurial pursuits, from pursuing self-development activities, from pursuing learning activities, and it may also preempt you from being able to actualize the utmost best version of yourself into reality, because when you are distracted with antics and frivolities and have all these ample burdensome responsibilities, it diverts time away from being able to manifest the utmost best version of yourself into reality. You want to be able to actualize your latent potential and become all you can become. And being pursuant of relationships, taking on the responsibilities of a familial man, it diverts time away from learning activities, growth activities, and time to pursue your higher aspirations and work towards attaining your overarching goals. So, a married man, for instance, has less time to watch educational videos. He has less time to be matriculated in educational courses. He has less time to attend educational webinars. He has less time to attend educational seminars. He has less time to read educational books. He has less time to read educational articles. He has less time to listen to educational podcasts. It is possible for a married man to manifest the best version of himself into reality, but he may have to defer doing so for decades until he has more spare time to pursue the activities that are conducive to allowing him to actualize the utmost best version of himself. The utmost best version of himself may be the utmost knowledgeable, utmost adept, utmost confident, utmost competent, and utmost righteous version of himself. Fathers definitely do deserve their accolades. They take on the onerous, burdensome albatross of providing for an entire family in addition to themselves. However, that diverse time away from self-development activities and self-growth activities. So, men delude themselves into thinking that they need to be married in a relationship to be able to draw forth the best version of himself, when in reality you could probably draw forth the best version of yourself in a more expeditious manner if you are single, because then you have more time to pursue activities that are conducive to allowing you to elicit the best version of yourself into reality. So, most men are also trepidatious about the prospect of remaining single. They think that it can be daunting and uneventful and banal and dull and lackluster to live a life in which they remain single in perpetuity, but there is tremendous merit in that, especially if you can actualize the best version of yourself into reality in a more expeditious manner by remaining single. By remaining single, you're more apt to achieve your overarching goals and reach your higher aspirations, and are also able to live a more indulgent life. A single person can sleep in more often when they're chronically fatigued. They can pursue stress alleviating activities more often when they're chronically stressed out. And they could even take respites, sabbaticals, and reprieves from work when they are chronically burned out far more often than a marital man who may not have such luxuries. So I hope that you found this video to be intriguing and enthralling. Have a blissful day. Goodbye.